So the market has been up this last week by 8%. However, we're down in the last 30 days by around 20%. So in this video, we're going to look at some on-chain data, which stablecoins we find interesting, and some farming protocols that we have been looking at and might be interesting for you to actually farm and get some fresh APYs. So yeah, let's get into the video. So first of all, the stablecoins market cap, it's sitting on all-time highs on around 229 billion. So it's a seven on the last 7 days. It has been an increase in of 2 billion, and there has been a little decrease of outflows in the last 1 days, but it's not so significant. And we are up around 4 billion in the last 30 days. So this is actually a huge catalyst for the market. But let's see which stablecoins are actually gaining inflows in the market. So we can see here the biggest inflow by amount, one of it is USDC. So if we see which chains are actually minting USDC, is actually Sonic and Say. So later on, we're going to talk about some layer 1 comparisons, but spoilers alert that Sonic and Say is actually leading in TVL. This is obvious since the 7 days change is quite significant when compared to the other chains that actually also mints USDC. And the other stablecoins that we find interesting is again USDS. It's been continuing its uptrend of mints of around 4% last week, around almost 200 million. And it's actually interesting to see because this might mean that, yeah, and it's true that farmers are actually depositing their USDS into the saving rate that gives you around 6.5%, which actually means that the farmers are and the market participants are actually still having a defensive stance on the market right now. Yeah, everything's been down and a lot of uncertainties have been looming the markets lately. So this might be an interesting way to actually secure your funds and still make decent amount of money. The other one is actually Ethereum's USDTB and also USDX, which which together has around 1 billion inflows. Yeah, there might be some interesting farming opportunities, but I think those are in the smaller chains. So let's talk about first the ecosystems analysis that we find interesting. So in this last week, what has been interesting to see is actually BNB price performing quite well. So we can see here in the last week, it's been up 25%, which is really great. And this uh, immediately directs to the TVL. However, we didn't see any USD inflows into the TVL, rather than it's only the token price affecting the TVL. So, but apart from that, actually BNB chain has been really stable on their daily active addresses, and this is also true for their daily transactions when compared to Ethereum and Solana. And the stablecoin supply on both on three of these chains are actually very stable, with Ethereum being the best out of the three. And Solana, yeah, it's still decent, but however, yeah, Ethereum still wins in stablecoin supply, and nothing much on stablecoins volume. TVL, like I said before, it's BNB chain. It has been outperforming these two lately because of the price increasing as well. Nothing much for the revenues and also the fees generated. However, we can see here a little bit of an increase in the fees generated here. So this might be actually a good catalyst for BNB after all. It's not only the token price, but activity in the chain has been outperforming Ethereum and Solana. All right, next one, we're gonna compare some layer ones. So in this week's edition, we're gonna also include Sonic. So Sonic is a quite new contender in the DeFi world. Previously Phantom, and they rebrand on around December, and it's getting a lot of traction that day. However, yeah, you can see here, daily active addresses has been quite better in trend. Where if we actually compare them to the other four chains, which is Aptos, Near, Sei, and Sui. Sui has been ticking up a little bit, but yeah, it's more or less the same trend as Sonic. Nothing much has been going here, except for Sonic. Yeah, the trend here is way better than the other four chains for daily transactions. So yeah, this translates well. Stablecoin supply on Sui doing okay. Yeah, here we can see, as I mentioned before, the TVLs on Sonic and Sei is actually, yeah, gaining a lot of traction because of not only of the token price, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that one later. So please do hang on for a while. Yeah, nothing much has been going on in the fees and revenues. On ZK Layer 2s, there has been an interesting spike in Starknet's daily transactions, but we're gonna see and update this in the next week's analysis because this might be a temporary increase like this one right here. Yeah. And yeah, nothing much has been going on except for the TBL. So ZK Sync Era just actually announced today that they're actually discontinuing their ZK Sync Ignite campaign. So this might actually impact the price and sorry, the TVL in the future since at first they gained traction on TVL since the ZK Sync Ignite program. So if that is discontinued, this might actually affect the overall TVL in the ZK Sync era. So yeah, and it's been quite down quite badly. Uh, it it used to be performing better in TVL. Out of the five chains in the ZK-L2 ecosystem, but now it's been lacking amount below line A. Yeah. And yeah, actually an interesting data of daily active addresses in line A as well. There has been a little bit of increase. Also translates well to the daily transactions here for line A. It's been ticking up a little bit. Yep. Nothing much in the revenues and fees. For the chain compares for the layer 2s, nothing much has been going on except for the noticeable recovery for Arbitrum and Base. Yeah, Base has the best trend in the last 3 months when it comes to stablecoin supply. All right, so yeah, next one we're gonna talk about the two main interesting protocols that we find, which is from Sei and Sonic. So yeah, they have been actually gaining a lot of traction in TVL lately, not only because of the price increase, but yeah, as I mentioned frequently, it's also uh, due to the increase of the real stablecoins and USD. So it's not only the token price increase, like unlike BNB. So the interesting protocols here that we can find is actually Pendle and Ring. So, and this complements each other because so I've always talked about rings because in the last 2 or 3 weeks, these this is like the main protocol for the DeFi ecosystem in Sonic because this is where you can get SCUSD and you can stake SCUSD to get staked SCUSD, and these stake SCUSD is now made possible to actually be put in liquidity pools on Pendle here, like in this pool, which gives you a 16.25% APY. I think this also gives you like around 10% fixed APY, which is really great in today's market. Topped by the 5.8% APY if you staked the SCUSD in Rings protocol. So it must almost 16% APY in today's market. I think this is why the market has been pricing this one quite well lately. And this is true because, yeah, on March 8th, PenPy actually lands on Sonic, which makes all of this possible. And yeah, the first pools in that are in Pendle is actually Rep Stake Son SCUSD, Rep Stake SDETH, Stake S, and WOS. So yeah, this might be an interesting farm for some of you that are actually actively trading in the Sonic ecosystem or the Sonic chain. And next one we got Say. Yeah, you can see here the TVL is actually performing really well, uh, consistent to the price decreasing. So yeah, this must be inflows of other tokens. It's not affected by the uh, price decrease. So interesting trend to see. So we're gonna see here which of the protocols that are actually gaining in start. On Say. So the most interesting one is actually from Yay Finance. As I mentioned last week, Yay Finance has a Binance wallet campaign. So you can get a share of 1,500,000 rewards in Say DeFi season by bridging access to Say EVM and like depositing like USDC to on Binance Wallet on the simple yield Yay Finance and gain another share of 1,300,000 say. Yeah, it's 1.5 million say in total. So this might be interesting. And if we look at the website here, yeah, you can see here in the Binance Wallet campaign, you can get 14.7% APY. Also very interesting as well to see. Yeah. And yeah, I think if you are interested, you can actually farm these and gain sustainable and gain like quite low risk APY because most of these farms are from stables. All right, so that's it for this week's stables analysis and ecosystem analysis. Uh, Subscribe for more weekly crypto updates. Thank you.